What's up, guys? Welcome back to Newswave. So it turns out Nintendo might have some more stuff to announce coming up. Crazy, I know, right? But after seeing Paper Mario just dropped on Twitter, it's now getting a lot of people thinking, what could be next? Well, we had a report that appears to be pointing to at least two other games being announced relatively soon. I mean, Summer Game Fest is going on right now, so announcements they could come from anywhere at this point. Also, we have to talk a little bit about Doom Eternal on the PC, as there appears to have been an update that has gamers pretty frustrated with what they're seeing there. And then Halo Infinite. Looks like we're going to be seeing that pretty soon as well. As always, guys, if you enjoy these videos, make sure that like button helps out a ton. And if you're brand new here, hit that red subscribe button down below as we head towards 500,000 subscribers. And we're going to start today with Tony Hawk Pro Skater 1 and 2. Of course, the game itself looks very, very good, especially compared to that Tony Hawk Pro Skater HD that was on Xbox Live and Steam, and it wasn't good. But this one with Vicarious Visions running the show looks good. And one thing we were all really curious about would be the soundtrack, because that's iconic, right? Everybody remembers some of their favorite songs from Tony Hawk Pro Skater 1 or even 2. It looks like they did their best to get as many of those tracks back as they could. They did tell us there were licensing issues, but you can now go check out some of the songs for yourself, as they tweeted this out here, saying that you can now go to Spotify and start listening through some of the different tracks they have. And on top of that, Kotaku actually managed to confirm 5 songs that will not be included with the remasters, and that includes Psycho Vision, that includes Committed, Bring the Noise, B-Boy Document 99, Out with the Old. I specifically remember Bring the Noise and Out with the Old. Those were definitely some good tracks to listen to while you were rolling around in Tony Hawk Pro Skater, but otherwise, we should expect most of the songs that we remember. And like I said, all the way around, I think for $40, which is the price that they're putting out there for this game, the Tony Hawk Pro Skater 1 and 2, I think there's gonna be a lot of value there. And I am happy to see that they did their best to get as many of those tracks on board. Yeah, a few of those not being there is unfortunate, but licensing music and all of that can be a headache anyway. But so far it looks really, really good. Also, here was a weird story. I don't think anything's coming from this, but it's something to keep an eye on here. So on Twitter, Troy Baker mentioned to Bill Roseman that, oh, wouldn't it be cool if we had some sort of Daredevil game, is what they were alluding to. And what was odd about this, you can see the tweet here, Bill Roseman came in and said, "You, sir, are clearly a man without fear," obviously referencing Daredevil. And that sent the internet into a bit of a frenzy, because I didn't even think about it, but yeah, Daredevil game would be pretty cool. It's something like I said, I've never thought about, but now that I am thinking about it, would be really interesting to see how they would tackle that. But Bill then went on Twitter, and you can see here tweeted that there would most likely not be one. It says that there's at least not one in development, saying, "From the office of Nelson and Murdoch, while Bill greatly admires the man without fear, there is no Daredevil game in development." Then saying that, oh, they have the desire of creating the game, but they apologize for creating any confusion. Oh, okay. Well, it would be pretty funny if they were trying to be, coy about it and like hint at it online for a future announcement, we'll say, for a Daredevil game. That would be cool if that really is something that's being planned right now and it's in the very, very early stages. But I mean, it seems like people are interested in the idea, especially after the tweet blew up online and people really started to think about a Daredevil game. That'd be pretty cool. Let me know, though. This is the first time you've really thought about a Daredevil game. Is it something you'd want? Also, if you've been browsing the eShop, you may have noticed some games have recently gone on sale, specifically from Sega with Sonic. You can see some of the sales here, and those include Mario and Sonic at the Olympic Games, marked down to $40. And then, of course, Sonic Forces at $10. You know what, at $10, yeah, okay, sure. But right next to it, Sonic Mania at $10. I think I would go with Sonic Mania. Team Sonic Racing at $20 is pretty good. And then they also have several 3DS games on sale as well, including Sonic Generations and Sonic Lost World. So a pretty good sale, I would say, from Sega for the Sonic series. That is going to run until the 26th. So you have about a week or so to kind of look through these and see what you think. But eShop sales pop up randomly, and we'll check them out from time to time if they're any good. And if you're a Sonic fan, I would check out a few of these. And guys, with some of the quick news out of the way, let's get into the bigger stuff. Let's talk a little bit about Nintendo's kind of release going forward, the release schedule, the ideas that they have around how they're going to present that, and I guess what their big holiday game could be, because that's where things are starting to become a little more clear after seeing what they did with Paper Mario. It's not really something people expected. Oh, a brand new Paper Mario game? Great. When is it out? In 60 days. Okay. That's sooner than I thought, right? And after VentureBeat went ahead and wrote about that new Paper Mario game, Jeff Grubb, who wrote the article, also mentioned a little further down about a few other games that are very close to being revealed. Other Nintendo studios will have games ready for release soon as well. That includes the 3D Mario remasters, but it should also include Pikmin 3 Deluxe. And we've been talking about Pikmin 3 Deluxe as a release from Nintendo this year. And you know what? I was getting to the point where I was a little surprised that Nintendo hadn't said anything about it. I thought that would have been a game that they would have even thought about releasing in the first half of this year. But after seeing what they've done here with Paper Mario, I'm starting to wonder if that's going to be a game that they announce and then it comes out in like 2 months, right? And these random Twitter announcements are probably going to be what we see going forward, I would say until September. Seriously, it's going to be a bit before I think a Direct pops up, as Nintendo has been working to adapt to the remote work and the work from home that they're trying to do right now. It's a bit harder, it seems, for Nintendo to kind of adapt to that. So having these random Twitter announcements, as some people I have seen online are not big fans of it, it's probably what we're going to be seeing. But I mean, in the future, at least for the time being that I can see, seeing a Pikmin 3 Deluxe just dropped on Twitter is probably a likely thing. And you know what? It could honestly happen any week now. They just randomly pop up like Paper Mario in the morning. I'm sure an hour after Newswave goes up, like usual, thanks Nintendo, and they just say, hey, Pikmin 3 Deluxe, it's coming in August or something. It's very possible. The Mario remasters is going to be interesting because I'm not sure how they are going to do that. Is it going to be a Twitter announcement? I guess it could be because they are remasters, it seems, but that's a pretty big deal to take all of those Mario games, including Sunshine, by the way, putting it on one cartridge and then putting it out there. That seems a bit higher to me than something you would want to do with a random Twitter announcement, but there's also word that they aren't really going to be able to do a Direct, so I'm not really sure how they go about that. I guess you do have to just put a trailer out, put a Twitter announcement out, and then roll from there. But the Mario remasters could be one of their big holiday games, but I will say this, one of their big holiday games. Right now, Pikmin 3 and Mario remasters are the big ones. Even Paper Mario before, we had talked about there possibly being a Paper Mario game, but there are some other things out there, so keep that in mind. Nintendo is at least still trying to plan out a pretty good holiday, but I do think that the 3D Mario, or the Mario Remastered Collection, which I guess could be like Mario 3D Collection or something, is going to be one of their bigger releases, I would say, going into the fall and holiday, and it's Mario, it's going to sell. Even New Super Mario Bros. U Deluxe on the Switch sold way more than it probably should have, right? Over 5 million copies, close to 6 million, so you never know, but this one will probably sell pretty well, I would say, and we'll see what else Nintendo has, but look forward to some random Twitter announcements because that's most likely what we're going to see probably until September or even October. Next up, let's talk about Halo Infinite and Microsoft's event coming up. They've told us every month there will be some new piece of news as they head towards the big release of the next Xbox line, Series X, and then probably whatever Lockhart is called when it comes to the retail space. But right now, Series X should have something in June, at least something, and then July is going to be their big blowout event. As they've said, all of the first-party studios will show up to show different games, and there's going to be some big stuff there. The one thing, though, that we have believed this whole time that will be there, because it makes the most sense, is Halo Infinite, but nothing's been confirmed, right? Well, at least until now. In fact, at this time, we know for sure that Halo Infinite is going to be there. That's the only thing that we know for sure that is going to be there at this time, but it was put out on Halo Waypoint in a post saying, "You may have seen people talking about this lightly before, but we're extremely excited to confirm that Halo Infinite will be one of many first-party titles included in the Xbox 2020 event in July." Okay, so we just saw what Sony did with Ghost of Tsushima, right? Where they did this big blowout, 18-minute bit of gameplay. Halo Infinite absolutely has to do something like that during this Xbox 2020 event that's going to be in July. I don't know if they open the show with it. I don't know if they close the show. I do believe, though, that might be a way to open if you think about that, and then they close with something big like a reveal for Fable or Perfect Dark, something along those lines. I think you can open with Halo Infinite before you even say anything to the audience. It's just Master Chief waking up or something, and then you go through a level for like 10 minutes, and then you find out at the end that that was actual gameplay that you saw. It was not a cinematic. That would be some impressive stuff if it looks as good as is believed right now. This is a brand new engine that's been created. 343 seems extremely excited about this whole thing, and let's be real, in June, Sony's going to bring it. I'm going to tell you that now. Sony is going to go absolutely crazy in June with their event that has been rumored right now for June 4th. I'm going to continue to say first half of June just in case because things move, but they're going to show up. I have a video going up on the second channel today that will discuss some of the rumored pieces that they will show there, and it's even missing others. So Sony's going to go crazy. Halo Infinite has to be that big holiday game this year, and in order to be that, I think they really need to have some confidence with gameplay and show it off, because if they can't show gameplay in July, how is it coming out in like November? I don't know. So that hopefully is what their plan is, but we'll see. However, at this time, yes, Halo Infinite is absolutely confirmed, it seems, to be there in July. Next up, let's talk about something I completely forgot about that I even pre-ordered on Amazon, and that's the TurboGrafx Mini. Did anyone else order this and forget about it? Because the other day, I got an email from Amazon saying that they were going to now ship it out to me, and it had a release date. And I was like, oh yeah, I did order that thing. Forgot about that. They had delayed it a few times for the US, and finally, we have a release date. They tweeted this out here saying, exciting news, those who had purchased the TurboGrafx 16 Mini via Amazon.com can start expecting theirs to arrive starting from May 22nd. We're still keeping a close eye on the situation for the Core Graphics Mini, so hang in there, Europe. And you know what? I'm at least excited to check it out. I know there's been, I think reviews went on the PC Engine Mini. I think we've seen that, but I was excited to see this one come out and actually show up after it was delayed. I think I was supposed to get it like the end of last year, and then it's been pushed to now. But of course, there were situations going on around the world with manufacturing and all that with the current pandemic. So I said, you know what? When it shows up, it'll show up. And hey, this week. So hey, I guess we'll do a video on it. We'll tear it down. It'll be pretty interesting, I think, to see it. And of course, some of the games on there like Bonk's Adventure and Ys Books 1 and 2 are going to be interesting to check out. But to be honest, I was never a really big TurboGrafx 16 fan. However, seeing this come out and show up, I'll check out some of the games and see what I think of it at that time, and we'll kind of go from there. But I'm excited to at least finally get the thing after forgetting about it and now being reminded of it. It's exciting stuff. And in our last bit of news, let's talk about Doom Eternal, as it did receive a new update. And in that update, appears to be something that fans are not very excited about at all. It's Denuvo, and look, Denuvo is a whole thing on its own, but fans are really frustrated because this new anti-cheat measure that's been added into the game after release, by the way, appears to be a bit of a security concern for everyone who has it installed and plays the game, as it installs anti-cheat that runs at a kernel level for your system, your PC. Now, MVG did a very good job going over some of the concerns and the risks involved with this, and I would check out his video on that one. It'll be a source in the description below. But the biggest concern for me anyway, one, yes, security concerns, as there is quite a bit of access then to what's going on your PC at the time, has been described as keystrokes or really anything you're doing at that time on your PC while the game is running. Now, it was mentioned that it starts and ends when your PC starts playing Doom and then when you stop playing Doom. But the real frustration here is that this is added in after you've already bought the game. So like, it's one thing if it's there before and you go, well, I'm just not gonna buy that game, right? Because like, I don't want that on my PC, but you've already spent the money on it. Maybe you've even played part of the way through it, so you're beyond when you'd be able to get a refund on something like Steam, right? But then they just drop this in there, and it's the same way whether you're playing single player or multiplayer, it seems. It's just always running, even if you don't necessarily need it. So yes, that is quite frustrating, and it's gone to the point now where people are review bombing the game like crazy, trying to get seemingly Bethesda's attention to remove this anti-cheat measure, but it's hard to say if they will, and of course, they can say anti-cheat, but it is de novo, so they might be leaning on the idea of, oh, it can also stop piracy and all of this, but yes, frustrating stuff there on Bethesda's side with Doom Eternal on PC. Hopefully they get that fixed up, but otherwise I can understand why people would look at it and say, well, I'm just gonna uninstall it and move on. However, then you're also out $60, but this could also deter people from buying it going forward. So we'll see what happens with Doom Eternal. Hopefully Bethesda gets the hint and removes that pretty invasive bit of anti-cheat for their game. And we'll finish up with the comment of the day, as you're seeing here. This is from Sheila saying, everyone Ghost of Tsushima, Spawn Ghost of Tsushima. Okay, so I used to say Ghost of Tsushima. However, after that little developer talk and the little developer diary of the walking around, they kept saying Ghost of Tsushima, and it dawned on me that I had probably been saying Ghost of Tsushima wrong this entire time when I was saying Ghost of Tsushima. However, what was interesting was, as I was saying it in the previous news wave, people weren't really sure. There was actual conversation and even arguments around if I was saying it correctly or incorrectly with Ghost of Tsushima, and it turns out it is pronounced Ghost of Tsushima, so I guess I'm going with that. I don't know. Like I said, I've been saying Ghost of Tsushima this whole time, and now I'm looking at it like, wow, I've made several videos about this game, and I've been saying the name wrong completely, but it seems like I'm not the only one at least, so there's that. But Ghost of Tsushima, I guess, is the way we'll go from now on with it. And ladies and gentlemen, that's going to do it here for Newswave. Enjoyed this video, guys. Hit that like button, really helps out. If not, hit the dislike. Leave comments down below about everything we talked about today, whether it's Halo Infinite. They gotta show gameplay, right? Like, they have to. It's coming out this holiday. Do you expect a long chunk of gameplay, or do you think they're gonna do this deep dive where the developer is gonna hang out and talk about the multiplayer options, the single player stuff, all at once? Let me know what you think about that down below. And then also, what about Nintendo going forward? It's a strange year for everyone, right? But how does Nintendo do this with something like Pikmin 3 Deluxe, these Mario remasters, and then maybe some other big hitter this holiday? Let me know, guys, down below. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.